This is a mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're on the air.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Select Board is open at 6 PM tonight, November 14th. First order of business is approve the October 24th, 2019 minutes.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Excuse me. Public forum, this is an opportunity for anyone who wants to address the Board of Selectmen with any issue that is not on the agenda. If you do, come up to the mic and please state your name and where you're from.
More of a question. My name is Mary Gickness, and I live on Gravelly Brook Road. And my question is about recycling. I just want to know if there are any plans for recycling in the budget for 2020. And just also to let you know that I personally, or my family of two, we've spent over $75 so far to recycle our goods, which I think is kind of high. And also the corrugated cardboard at Bradbury's, it doesn't work because it's often full. It's not that they're not nice people, and yes, they have the dumpster, but it's often full, so you get there with all your corrugated cardboard, and it's full, and there's a sign that says, please don't leave it, of course, because we can't just dump it. And so then you have to drive it back and unload it from your car and put it in your garage, and it's just not working.
Well, we also have another place you can take your cardboard at the parking lot.
Right, but I think the same thing is probably happening there, and you only have so much time to drive around with your recycling. I'm spending a lot of time doing that, and a
So-
lot of money.
So we are planning on looking into going back to recycling. We just haven't got that far yet, but we are planning on doing something about it.
Is it on the budget for
We haven't
2020?
We haven't.
We do the
not yet.
budget in March.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah.
When do you do the budget? And is that something that we will be able to vote on?
If that comes forward, yes, ma'am. We're in the beginning stages of trying to find out whether we're gonna have pickup or drop off. We're not sure yet. We're working on all that. We haven't got that far yet.
Okay,
But we know how the people feel, and we will try to do something about that.
because it's really, really embarrassing to live in a town like Kennebunkport that actually is not a real poor town, and we don't recycle, and we're on the seacoast. It just feels terribly irresponsible.
Well, what happened was, the budget was made before we found out that it was gonna be another $200,000 to do the recycling, and we just didn't have the money in the budget to be able to do it. So, we're moving forward with this, and we're gonna do the best we can to try to do something to solve the problem, yeah.
We
Pat,
also
you
want to
had
make
something,
sure,
right?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I'm going to Echo, Maine on Tuesday for this very purpose, to continue to look into options that we can have. So, no, we are trying to find a solution, believe me.
And I don't know your name, sir. I'm sorry.
Pat Briggs.
Your okay, just so I know. Okay, thank you very much. Just wanted to make it known that
Yep.
it's not
I
working.
didn't pay her for that.
Also, though, I feel sorry for the garbage men because they're getting a lot more stuff that they have to lift. I see that's bad.
We're gonna do the best we can, honestly, we will. Yep.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Public hearing? No? Okay. Public forum, excuse me. 4, public hearing to consider an application for liquor licenses and special amusement permits submitted by KHC Hotel Manager. I'm going to open the public hearing up, but there's a couple of things that we're going to do a little differently, since there's so many properties involved. We're going to do both the liquor license and the special amusement. And is there anybody here?
Are you
that would
gonna
like-
open the public hearing
just-
for all of the licenses?
Yes, all the licenses.
Okay, so
Yes.
it might be good to list off the businesses that we're opening the public hearing
Okay.
for.
So there's 8 of them involved at the public, the Boathouse Waterfront Hotel, the Kennebunkport Inn, Cape Arundel Inn and Resort, Cape Arundel Inn Clubhouse, Hidden Pond, the Lodge on the Cove, Taj Beach Club, Yachtsman Hotel, and Marina Club. Does anybody have any questions? We've opened up the public hearing. Is there anybody have any questions out of the public about this?
I think it might be good to have a
Yeah,
representative
right.
to, okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if there's any questions out there in the public. Not yet.
Good evening. My name is Joanne Simonelli. We were just introduced a few moments ago. I have filed the applications on behalf...
Could you speak up, ma'am?
Sure. I have filed the applications on behalf of what will be the new management company. It is not new, nothing new with the properties will be occurring. Everything will be staying the same. They'll continue to operate. Tim, who's present here, will continue being involved with the properties, and Justin Grimes, who is here, who's been working with the properties for many years now, will continue with the properties. And it's in essence, a new management company, some new owners, but basically the same operations.
Okay. Tim, you have?
So the good news or the bad news, you're still stuck with me, whatever your opinion of that is. So I'm a partner in the new group. Justin's our managing director. Property level stuff all stays the same. My new hotel partner is an amazing hotelier for, I don't know, a long time. And I'm very, very excited about this. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Okay, well, good luck
luck.
in that project.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there any questions at all? Not seeing any, we'll close the public hearing. So now we want to go ahead and have a vote.
Well, do you want to do them one by one, or you?
No, we're going to do the whole thing. I've listed them all already.
Right.
Should I list them again? Okay,
For the motion.
okay,
I can do that. if you
okay.
wish.
Yep.
I'd like to move that we approve the application from the Boathouse Waterfront Hotel, the Kennebunkport Inn, Cape Arundel Inn and Resort, Cape Arundel Inn at Clubhouse, Hidden Pond, the Lodge on the Cove, Tides Beach Club, Yachtsman Hotel and Marina Club.
And that's for the liquor licenses and special amusement.
Correct.
And I will second that.
Have a first and second. Any more questions? Answers? All in favor? Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah. Ralph, that's it?
You're welcome.
We need some
Good luck.
help for Prelude. We need Prelude to call me. Well, I tried to get her and I couldn't get her today.
They don't
Okay.
sign until the end of the meeting.
Could you have her call
Okay.
me? Please,
Thank you.
thanks.
Item number 20, Police Awards Presentation. Hi, Chief.
Yay, just in time. Yeah, snuck in.
Officer Slauson, could you come up, please? Good evening. I just wanted to take a few minutes tonight of your time to recognize one of my officers. This presentation has been a little time in coming. It should have happened about a year ago, but Officer Slauson went out on surgery on his back, and he had a brand-new little baby not too long ago. So
His wife.
he's here with his dad, his mom, his brother, and his wife, Pon, and their baby.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
A little bit about Officer Slauson. Officer Slauson has been with the Kennebunkport Police Department since 2016. Prior to that, he was a full-time officer in the town of York for several years, when I say around 10 or 11, 12, sorry. And prior to that, Scott was a Secret Service agent. And we're very lucky to have Scott. Scott is an experienced officer. He very intelligent, very thorough, and he's a great addition to our team. Officer Slauson is being recognized tonight for his efforts in saving a Kennebunkport citizen's life. Because the call was medical in nature, I can't get into great detail. I can tell you that Officer Slauson participated in life-saving measures that resulted in a positive outcome for the patient. Officer Slauson, I am awarding you the department's life-saving medal, which you are now authorized to wear on your uniform as a representation of your dedicated efforts. And I have a plaque here. So the plaque reads, Kennebunkport Police Department Life-Saving Award in recognition of your efforts while rendering first aid. You are awarded the department's life-saving medal. Your actions bring great credit upon yourself, the Kennebunkport Police Department, and the community you serve. Congratulations, Scott. Thank you, Chief.
Good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go. Congratulations.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Quite welcome. I think he approved. That's a yes.
We won't go up.
Yeah, must have.
That's that little baby.
Okay. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
21, consider planning board appointments. I guess we should go ahead and move Charles Simmons up from the alternate position to a full member position,
So moved
and his term will expire
in
July of 2021.
right.
We have a couple of applicants that have applied. John Harcourt, you want to come up and say a few words? Tell us about us. We know you, but
well,
some
yeah.
people don't.
Yeah.
Not much to say, other
Well,
than I'm looking forward.
So we need to go to the,
Yeah.
you're gonna be on TV, John.
Yeah,
Give us
right.
your best side.
I'm John Harcourt. I live at 25 Kings Lane. And I applied because I believe that now being a permanent resident, which I have been for about 18 months, but I've been a resident of Kennebunkport for 12 years before that, I believe it's important to give back to the community and do everything you can to help the community grow and maintain its community base and its culture. And that's why I'm interested.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
I'm retired. I owned companies that, for the most part, dealt with autistic kids, both in residential settings for very complex kids and in education settings for kids who needed to be outside the school district but could live in a home. I've been involved in various kinds of community development, including working with planning boards in several states. Where I was on the other side, not on the board, I was trying to convince the planning board and the community that it would be a good idea to build psychiatric hospitals in their community. And I was basically successful for most of those times. And so I have some knowledge of the planning process. And of course, I've been pleased to be a member of the Village Parcel Planning Committee, where I've had an opportunity to hear from citizens and probably every board and commission in the town, and get some flavor for people's feelings about the town and their wishes to keep the town character, which I think is an important piece of going forward.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We also have somebody else that would like to, that's applied. Harrison, would you like to come up?
No, but I will.
My name's Harrison Small. I've been a resident here since 1945, and I've watched the town grow and grow. And for about 30 years, I was involved with the Scouts in York County there in various positions. And I'd like now to be able to be on the board and maybe help guide it along some. We keep on with developments. I've got about 40 years of construction knowledge behind me, so that might just help when it comes to deciding what's got to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our problem is we only have one position, and there's two, and they're both good candidates. And what would you like to?
This is a hard one, but I've worked with John and especially the fact that he was part of the village parcel. I think it sort of works right into the whole planning board thing. So I'd like to nominate John Harcourt.
I will second that.
And Harrison, there are other openings for volunteers that we'd love to have you.
Right, absolutely. I have a first and a second. Any other questions or anything? No? All in favor? Thank you.
Thank
So-
you.
And you made the
And that-
term on that?
The alternate position is
I
July
think-
2020?
Yes.
Yep.
And did you guys make a motion on Larry, or just, did I miss that
Yeah,
part?
we did.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
We're quick tonight.
Yeah, we got rid of 20 right off the bat.
22, award the police cruiser bid.
Did the chief
With the
leave?
chief.
So the police cruiser bid, we are taking off the agenda.
Oh,
So we did get in 3 prices. Unfortunately, because Chrysler is changing their operations on the Dodge Charger, we heard from the dealers, since they gave us the quotes and said that Wednesday was the cutoff for making any new orders, and since we didn't meet that deadline.
It's like yesterday?
Yep.
wow.
And I said, well, we can't do it any sooner than when the board meets. So we aren't gonna get a cruiser that's a Dodge Charger. So the chief is thinking that we'll put out an ad for an Explorer. We didn't budget for an Explorer, but we'll see what we can do for pricing. Otherwise, we'll have to wait another year to replace a vehicle.
And the one we're replacing is 120,000
Yeah,
miles.
already, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Moving right along, consider 3 supplemental commitments of sewer user rates for the period beginning October 31st, 2019 and ending December 31st, 2019. Hey, Chris?
Good evening. So these are 3 new applications that we received. One is for map block and lot 35-18-3A. The second for map block and lot 23-1-19A4. Map block and lot 23-1-19A14. So the amount for the prorated portion of the user fee to be assessed for each of the properties would be $88.85.
Could you speak up a little bit?
Excuse me.
Sorry.
The prorated portion of the user fee to be assessed for each property is $88.85. We received all 3 applications on the same day. So we're requesting that you commit the above-mentioned sewer rates.
And these are new hookups?
These are new properties, correct?
I would say so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thanks,
Very
Chris.
good.
Thank you.
Presentation of ordinance changes regarding publishing of public hearing, notices for planning board, and et cetera. Hey, Warner.
Good evening. So this proposed ordinance amendment, I consider this primarily a housekeeping item. With the loss of the Journal Tribune, we were forced to look at alternative newspapers in which to publish our legal notices for planning board and zoning board. What we found was that in order to keep within our current time frames, that we would have had, we will have to go with the Portland Press Herald, which in all cases more than doubles the cost of the newspaper publishing. So it caused us to step back and take a look as to what other alternatives that we had other than doing the newspaper posting, and if we had a more effective option. So what we have proposed in the ordinance amendment would be to utilize the town's website for the newspaper as a substitute for the newspaper publication posting. This is just instead of that public notice that you see in the classified section. And also what I also have included in there is a reduction in the time frame down to 3 days from 10. There are some other local paper options, but because of how they publish, we'd either wind up adding another week to the process for planning board, which in practice would be actually adding 2 weeks to get the notices out, or we reduce the notification down to 3 days instead of 10 days, so that we could work with some of the smaller papers that are local in terms of circulation. So I left that option in there that, if we had to do a posting, we would go down to 3 days, but be able to use a more cost-effective local paper and/or use the town's website. So this is subject to town attorney's review and comment, but based on what we found, with this just being a local ordinance for zoning board of appeals and the planning board site plan review, it's a requirement that we have that's just solely in our ordinance, and we don't believe that we'd be in conflict with state law by making this change.
Okay,
So.
what's the plan?
Well, then I move that we approve your request for a change in the ordinances.
Don't we have to see it first?
What is his share? It's in your book.
Is the whole thing there?
That's it. It's the whole enchilada. Housekeeping primarily.
The change in the language is the underlined language.
Okay, I thought this was
Yeah.
preparing us.
Yeah, so they're in two different places. One's in the zoning board of appeals process, and the other one is in the site plan review. Currently, it requires us to publish notice in a newspaper 10 days in advance. So because all we have is
Right.
weekly papers now,
Right.
it was really adding an additional week of time, which means applicants have to get it in sooner, and it's a struggle. So we thought we'd put in there 3 days' notice, which we could certainly do with a weekly paper. And then also the town website, which we've talked about having a place in the planning and development department where we can list all those items.
Okay.
So I have a first.
Second.
First and second. Any more discussion? No? All in favor? Thanks,
Great,
Warner.
thank you. Yep, and so this should be on the warrant then for March.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, consider tax acquired property write-off. Do you want to handle that?
Yep, we acquired a piece of property through a tax foreclosure process. It is a property located on Beechwood Avenue. You have the property card in your packet. It's a little further down the road past the Public Works Garage on the same side of the road. In April of 18, we actually foreclosed and we've assessed the property now in the name of the town, but these are leftover taxes. We did make contact. This was a property that was handed down through an inheritance, so we did make contact with the new owner, and they have not paid the balance, and so we've waited some period of time for them to do that. And so, based on that, we think we should write off these taxes. They total $1,800 for 3 years.
Yeah, I move we write off the taxes.
And I'll second.
$1,838.42.
Yeah.
First and second, all in favor? Thank you. 26, approve the FY 2021 budget schedule.
Oh, boy.
That looks about like it did last.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, yeah, I think it does. Sure works for us. So what do you have to say about that?
I say that,
What do you want us to say?
I hope that you're here the month of March.
Planning on it.
So,
I am.
one thing is, I just want to make sure that people's schedules are aligning with this. Certainly the month of March and the first couple of weeks in April are important times. And the only thing that we have changed on this is I have moved some of the departments. So we will be doing the operational budgets over 2 meetings, March 5th and 12th, and then we'll do social services and capital on the 19th. And then the 26th, you would be making your recommendations. So we've tried to adjust the meetings so the weight of them isn't felt as heavy on the first night.
Seems like we just did this.
Isn't it
Yeah.
exciting?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to vote on this, or do we just?
We wait for you to approve it, and then we'll notify the budget board and the departments that this is the schedule.
Okay.
I move for approval of the new schedule.
And I'll second.
All in favor? Here we go. This, let's see. 27, discussion on FY 2021 budget goals. Do you have any goals? Is there anything that you would like to see?
You caught me.
Caught you off guard, didn't you?
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that question.
Look at the
I
money
don't
we
at
saved.
this point.
You don't at this point?
I can think of something, but I've been busy.
Okay, I know you have.
Yes, you have.
What about you?
No, I think our schedule, especially with the roads and the sidewalks and everything, is moving along nicely.
Well, we have a lot of things that we haven't finished yet, and I think that we just need to continue on the path we've been going on. There's a few things that need to be done, and I don't have anything other than the fact that I'd like to see some more trees trimmed. That's the only,
Well, they keep growing, you know,
they do,
and they die, and they gotta be removed.
but that's minor.
So I did ask Ed, who couldn't come to the meeting, whether he had anything to add, and his two items were one, to set some more money aside in reserve for the Cape Porpoise Pier, and the second was recycling.
Yeah, we're on
Well,
that.
we're on the recycling
Yep.
boat, yeah. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
Okay.
And the last
See,
one,
20, discuss meeting dates for the holidays, November 21st at 5. Oh, okay, discuss meeting dates for the holidays.
yes,
So, you've made a suggestion, November 21st at 5 PM.
Our second meeting of the month is on Thanksgiving, and due to people's schedules, I was suggesting the 21st of November. The problem is, there are meetings scheduled every night, and so if you had a short meeting at 5 PM, we could authorize a warrant, so we could pay some bills. And the other issue is, depending on what happens by tomorrow, you might be voting on a runoff election for the selectmen.
Okay.
yeah,
So
well,
that's
we-
the 21st.
The 21st, a week from tonight,
At 5.
5 PM.
5
We have a
PM.
meeting starting at 6, so that's why.
Yep, that's
but
fine
it
with
will
us.
be
That
here.
will be the Climate 101 with Growth Planning Committee, so you are all welcome to stay. I know that they would love to have you.
I'm looking forward to it.
So then you also have one suggestion.
So
on
in December,
23rd.
the second meeting is on the 26th, the day after Christmas. Many times we'll have a short daytime meeting to authorize the warrant. So we're looking at December 23rd at 9 AM, which would be the beginning of that week.
That's fine with you guys?
Yes, it is. What time on the 23rd?
9 AM.
9 AM,
Yep.
okay, yeah, okay.
That's a Monday, right?
Lori, when will a decision be made on the runoff election?
A week from tonight.
Are you all set with that? I know you have a busy schedule.
Wait a minute. What was the date?
The 23rd,
23rd at 9 AM.
December 23rd.
Okay, that's,
Oh, I think it's a Monday.
yeah.
It is.
Does that not work?
I don't think I'm gonna do it that week,
Okay,
so I'll be here.
you'll be here? Because I'm not sure what Ed's availability will
Right.
be.
Right.
So if it doesn't work for you, we can pick another time or date.
I think I'll be fine.
We're fine.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yep, great. Okay, 29, accept $2,000 donation from the St. Anne's Episcopal Church to the nurses' general account.
So moved.
I second that very much. I appreciate that.
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's a generous-
I think it's
a
important to
generous
note
gift.
that it goes to the general fund, so that gives the nurses the option of putting it where it is most needed at the time. And they cover several different areas, so this is the best way to do it, I think.
It does a great job.
Yeah.
Other business? No?
There's an exciting event happening December 10th.
There is, you know, I'm trying to get my,
You're still thinking about what, the
I
last
spent the
thing.
morning with Ralph Austin.
You tired? I am.
Yeah, I can imagine. And, yes, I want everyone to know that on the 10th of December, we're going to have a special dinner at the Boathouse, and the proceeds go to the Kennebunkport Heritage Housing Trust.
And you're taking
Tickets are
donations?
no, the tickets are $49, so
But you're
that
taking
includes every-
donations, all right? too?
We do, but it's gonna be fun, because we're gonna have a raffle, we've got baskets of goodies. A lot of the people in town have stepped up and said, hey, I'd like to offer this up, and it is coming along very nicely. We are very pleased with the response.
Great,
Yeah,
moving right along.
December 10th at the
And where
Boathouse,
can people,
6:30.
where can people buy tickets?
Online,
At brownpapertickets.com.
brownpapertickets.com.
And if you search for Kennebunkport, it will
And so
pop
what
up.
time is that?
6:30 in the evening, one seating. And so you get a guaranteed seat. So you don't have to go in there and stand around and wonder what's gonna happen.
No walk-ins?
It won't be possible.
Okay.
I'm expecting the tickets to all go,
How many tickets?
180.
180, wow. Sheila?
Just to let everybody know, it's prelude time. We will be decorating the town on the 25th of November. I've had some people reach out to say that they would like to help. We're happy to take anything we can get. The more volunteers, the better. Right now, everything seems to be, running along smoothly, so. But the other thing I do want to mention is I want to congratulate Pat and his committee, the Heritage Committee. They had a fundraiser on last Thursday night and raised
$17,000.
$17,000. People were so generous. It was a great evening of music and fun and dancing, and kudos to you guys.
Well, thank you very
It was a
much.
good event.
I'll tell everyone. Appreciate the compliment.
Anything else?
That's it.
Boss?
So I have a few items. One is, I've been talking to you about the enrollment task force that the RSU has going on. They have been doing some community outreach meetings and certainly struggling with a very challenging issue where people are very tied to their elementary schools in each of their communities. And people don't like change, but certainly trying to create equity and equality amongst the elementary schools is their goal. So they are continuing to struggle with how to create the best solution for everyone. And they met last night. I went to their meeting. They are looking to have some community outreach sessions in the 3 towns with the board's selectmen. I told them we'd be happy to host them. They were looking at December, but as of an email I got today, it looks like probably January. They'd like to work through a few more issues first before they come, so that's where we are with enrollment task force. The other item is that we have been discussing amongst the 3 towns and the RSU, ways to improve communication and clarity and share, challenges and issues going on in each of our communities, because certainly we're a team and we each impact each other. And the thought process is that maybe we could have some quarterly meetings between 2 representatives of each of the 4 boards, just to meet and communicate and talk about whether or not a larger meeting involving everyone would be helpful at some point in the future. So I'm going to be going to the RSU board Monday night to talk about that with the RSU board and see if they are willing to participate.
That'd be great.
The other thing is that we have our 911 addressing letter. You'll remember we've been working on readdressing down at Gooseworks Beach. We've been doing it all over town, but have been talking the past couple of years about Kings Highway. And there are a lot of challenges down there. Every possible scenario that could comes up on Kings Highway. So the fire chief is getting ready to send those letters out. So those letters will probably be going out early next week, and people will be receiving them. We're not making the new address effective until April 15th of next year, so that way we don't interfere with anyone's holiday. we give people plenty of notice to make changes, and that it will be in time before the summer rental season next year, so that any contracts or anything can have the new address, and they can display their number and notify people. So just to make you aware, we're finally ready now to send those letters out.
Is that just on Kings Highway?
We're only doing Kings Highway at this point. Yep. Last, as you know, we have been working with FEMA on the new flood insurance maps. We had appealed the new maps and were denied. Then we, with our joint communities, met with a congressional delegation and had also a meeting with FEMA representatives. We submitted our comments to them and requested that they reconsider. We have received notice that it does not look like they are reconsidering, but a community in York and a community in Cumberland County both requested a scientific resolution panel. We voted not to move forward with that process since they weren't going to let us introduce new evidence. So that means the map implementation has been put on hold. And in the meantime, they have come around and said that perhaps we could request a letter of map revision, and that the letter of map revision would be hopefully, in the best case scenario, in sync with the letter of final determination. So the letter of final determination is when they enact the maps, and that you cannot qualify for a letter of map revision until those are in effect. So they're talking about, if we were to streamline this, potentially the letters go into effect one day and the map revision goes into effect the next day, which is movement from where they have been in the past. But we are reaching out. We just received this letter this week between all the communities and our consultant, and we'll probably be meeting in the next week or so to further that discussion. But I just wanted to bring you up to speed on, we had gotten that response from FEMA.
Is
At
there a
least we got a
date?
response.
Is there a date yet for a determination ultimately?
They're saying that it's gonna be on a 6-month hold, so probably rather than going into effect in 2020, that they would go into effect, my
2021.
guess is in 2021. But we'll see how long it takes for the scientific resolution panel. They haven't given us a date on that.
Do you have anything else? No? Okay, I have nothing. Approve the November 14th treasurer's warrant.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
motion to adjourn.
I second that.
You beat her. All in favor?
Thank you,
Good
everyone,
night,
for
everybody.
coming.
Thank you very much.